Hi guys, welcome to another Ewan's Tech Tips, and it's that time of year again where, well, it's system upgrade time. It's time to upgrade the Normandy, as it were. So I guess this makes us build the Normandy SR2. If you're a Mass Effect fan, you know what I'm talking about. So for the case, I've gone with the Phoenix Prodigy Mini-ITX case. Solely because, you know, I'm starting to run out of space now, and you can build very compact gaming systems with, you know, very little space requirement now. In fact, I can install one of these bad boys. It's a 680 for the Win edition. The GTX 680 4GB for the Win edition into a Mini-ITX case and board is makes it worthwhile. I've had the 680 now for a week or so, and part of the reason for upgrading is basically because the AMD setup I have, for lack of a better word now, sucks. I have upgraded my AMD from a quad-core Phenom to a pile driver, top-end pile driver, in the 4GHz edition, and read a lot online about the PCI Express 3.0 and PCI Express 2.0. You know, there's lots of things out there saying, you know, there's no difference, you won't notice anything with a single card. So on that note, I went for a 480, which is a Gen 3 card, which replaced the two 470s I used to run in SLI, which served me well for the last 2 years. But you know, tried playing Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider, on maximum settings with the old 470 across 3 screens at like 6000 by 1080, and yeah, it was pretty much unplayable. So thus the prompted upgrade. So threw the 680 in the AMD rig, and you know, as you do, benchmarked it and found that you know, the benchmarks I was getting weren't touching anything like I've seen online, what everyone else is getting, which prompted me to, I have a little i5 server, so I took the 680 and installed it in a little i5 server I have, which is also a Mini-ITX build, and ran the same benchmarks, and the difference was quite phenomenal. The AMD just does not seem to have the bandwidth that Intel have at the moment, and the fact that AMD are still on PCI Express Gen 2 kinda says it all, you know. The moral of that story is that if you want to run a high-end graphics card, build an Intel system. If you're not fussed, stick with your AMD. It is good value for money, the processors AMD have. However, you know, Intel are running away with it at the moment, and you know, AMD need to do something quite drastic to catch up. I think, you know, they need to get themselves in the PCI Express 3.0 bandwagon. They need to look at the trying to improve the bottlenecking situation that must be going on there. Makes me wonder what the 470s would have done running SLI in an Intel board. Anyway, kind of gone a bit off in a rant there, off topic. So basically this build is going to have the EVGA Z77 Stinger. It's a Mini-ITX board, which has great overclocking features. You can pick them up on, I think it was dabs.com, and they're about 160 odd quid. This is actually an i3 3225. This is actually going to my Mini-ITX server I have, because I'm going to use the i5 3770K out of it in this gaming build. Solely because my server doesn't need that power, and the prices of i5s have now jumped up by about 30 to 40 quid. So, you know, it's a bit too much to buy a second one. The 430 watt power supply here, this is the Corsair CX430, this is the Builder series. That's actually probably going to be getting replaced in the server as well. I currently have I did a review in the CX500 series, which is currently in my Mini-ITX server, so I'm probably going to swap them around solely because I need at least 500 watt power supply to run the 680. They recommend 550 watts, but I've already been running it and benchmarking it in 500 watts and had no issues at all. I would like to use the current power supply I have, which is an OCZ 1200 watt, however I don't think it will actually fit in the Mini-ITX board. I may actually need to go out and buy a 600 watt power supply at some point, but for the immediate future I think the 500 watt will be more than ample to do the job. Should be able to get the i5 to go to at least 4.5 GHz, so that would be pretty sweet once it's all done. For the cooling, I've gone with a Corsair H80i, which features Corsair Link, and I've also done a review on that previously as well. This is actually a different H80i. I had to RMA the last one because the light on the CPU block didn't work. It stopped working, and then the fans stopped working. So hopefully that was an isolated incident and hasn't happened too often to other people. I think that pretty much concludes the overview here, and this will be quite an epic gaming build once I get it done. I'll try and video as much of the build as I can as I go through it, and thanks for watching. As usual, please thumbs up this video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel.